Hello everybody, Ice here again. This is not gonna be... well, this is not League of Legends first and foremost. This is not League of Legends, this is HOI4, which I enjoy playing quite a lot. This is a paradox game, a grand strategy, World War II, well, simulation game, and it's good. And first things first, what I want to talk about this game is supply status, and I don't think that people will understand how to supply in this game works, and why sometimes you get supply issues, attrition, even in real capital, and while sometimes you get no supply issues wherever you go. How this goes is basically this. States, the Germany, but the nation is comprised of the nation, which is basically Germany, and then you have states. Like just this, Hanover, Franken, Niederbayern, and so on, right? They are the states. And every single state is comprised out of tiles. Now, anywhere here, this state, it doesn't matter if you go here and you go supply status. This is the entire state, right? This is the supply state. Okay, this is the supply state of this. The encircled one, right? That is the supply state, and that supply state has three few cities in them. So, Bremen, Hanover, Munster, and Dortmund. They have supply cities. These are supply depots. Basically what happens is if you attack and you do not take a city. This means that you do not receive supplies from this territory, but you receive supplies from territory from where you're attacking. So the longer the distances is between these states, the more and more attrition and the weaker your divisions will be, because the supplies needs to catch up. This also works from capitals. This is what the capital is. The capital is your center of the supply in this game. If the capital gets encircled, nothing gets supplies, basically. Nothing just gets supplies, but it also means if, for example, you're in Germany and you fight around Minsk, let's say, right around Minsk, and Russia is using bombers to bomb infrastructure in between Minsk and the front line and your capital. This also will mean that this number here will get lower and lower and lower. Not that this number here, this number stays the same, but the amount of infrastructure or the amount of supply that can reach from your capital at the one time to the front line is getting weaker and weaker. It basically slows it down. So this means that the Germany attacks Russia, and Russia is using bombers bombing these territories here. Germany might end up having issues and might have having supply problems even before reaching anywhere from far away into the Soviet Union. So basically, all the supplies go from your main capital. But how does that actually work? For example, I'll talk about Italy now, because Italy is some different than Germany. For example, if you're playing Italy, the supplies for Ethiopia here will go Rome to Messina. Probably, I think Messina. I think Messina is no. So to Taranto here, right? To Calabria, to Rome, Calabria, and then they go south to either this port, which for this upper part, or either one of these two ports, which is for the south path of your armies fighting in Ethiopia. Now, if you're, for example, fighting here in the upper because it's easier, it will not go here, but it will go the closest one, which is Sicily, Messina, which is Sicily, and supply through output, where basically throughput limit is 24. This means that 24 supplies can go out from this port every hour. If you go here, this means that 30. This means that no more than 30 can reach here. Okay, you are supply locked. 30 supplies per hour can go down. If you get it here, base limit. This is why this, for example, it's labeled base 5. Regardless of this, this port can only reach 15 supplies output can have each hour in this port can receive 15. So basically it has 15 and this is 13. So this means that to reach one shipment of supplies from Calabria, for example, to go into Tripoli, it will pass 2 hours of the game to have it in Tripoli. This is basically attrition. This means that your divisions are waiting for equipment to be delivered. It is just here, but it can't be loaded out from the ships, for example. So it kind of makes a problem for that. But you can also fix it by building naval bases. Basically, build naval bases to get more supplies, or with basic infrastructure. For example, Germany raise USA. If you're attacking USA, you have problems. USA have difficulties with supplies. So how the supplies work actually is here. You see? You see how it goes here, then here, and then here, or here, and then here. It doesn't go here to go here. Why? Because this tile has a better infrastructure than this. So it will not go here to down, but it will go here to here. Same thing. If you put it here, you see, it goes here and then there. Why is taking MacBook? Why would not, for example, take this? Because the naval base is bigger and it is in the same thing. So and it goes here because it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. This area has 30 supplies. Only infrastructure will lower it down. The bombing of the naval base is also gonna lower it down. This number is 15, which is red, and this number here has supply throughput. Basically, this can output more supplies than this can receive. If that makes sense, you understand what I mean. This this can send more supplies than this dockyard can receive. Infrastructure as well, it helps you. Basically, if infrastructure gets damaged throughout the war and so on, if you're in Moscow and this infrastructure gets damaged from Polish resistances and so on, the supplies are needing, see, it's 102 out of 106. This means that this is the max, okay? This is the max supply you can have. It will always tell you the max supply you can have, limits about that. But of course it's not 30, it's just 30, but this is not also like 44 and so on. No. But this number, 102, is you are locked with infrastructure to be able to have 102. If you have hundreds of infrastructure, it'll be able to send 106, basically the max out. This is 140, can reach 140 supplies and so on and so forth. Basically, if you attack Russia, you take Moscow, and you have Leningrad saga. But for whatever reason, the capital moves to Vladivostok. The Russia will start having issues with supplies. Why is that? Because the supplies, regardless of Vladivostok, it has 4 out of 10, but it gets bigger. Even if you have upgraded this to 10, it doesn't matter, because the states near it are weak in terms of supply, in terms of infrastructure. So this means this and it's not the same, and it cannot receive the same amount of supplies sent from the capital to go here and then go down. It doesn't work like that. No, you get locked by this country or the country that it goes. This is why the supply always wants to go from the biggest possible route. So if you're Germany, you go to Moscow, make a line of 100% infrastructure to front line and try to keep it all the way up, because it will go there and it will start spreading. It will help you a lot. You just need one line of territories, or the highest possible infrastructure, regardless. So this also means, as I already said, supplies. You can check it here. You see the current fuel capacity, current consumption, blah blah blah, and so on, right? But the problem is, every single unit has a supply use. So this is a supply, right? This is a supply. supply areas. This is a supply. This number here is a supply. 6 out of 102. This is a supply. 102 is a supply this area can have at this given time now. How does that work? If you have 100 supply and you put 50 divisions that use 2 supply per day, you can support it, and you're not gonna have supply issues. Not basically if you do not have a war in there and it gets damaged, then yeah, you're gonna have that. But it also works like you should always keep about 20 points or 10 points, 15 points, depending, of supplies under the limit. So you do not want to go over the limit because you're just gonna have supply issues and it will give you debuffs to army and so on and so forth. So don't do it. Always keep it under the supply limit. You can always check the supply limit going on this little arrow and supply area. So just press F4 in the keyboard, which I will do now, and open it up. You can also check how the supplies go. If you reach it, for example here, if I have more countries, I can just go here, and it will show me how my supplies are traveling from one tile to the other tile and go on. Okay, I hope that this explains you a little bit more. If you have more questions about Navy, Air Force, so on and so on, tank templates, tank designs, the stats and so on, you can ask me. But I was also thinking about doing an Italy guide, which is gonna help me a lot, because I think that I'm really good Italy player, especially on the Atomic ARP mode, which is basically the mode I'm using most of the time I play. And if you would like to see an Italy mode and how I play Italy, because there are 2 different ways of playing Italy in this mode, as I think there are 2 good ways, and if you would like to be interested about that, hit me up in the comment section, and I might be able to give you some inputs on that, and also some other nations, Germany, USSR, or Vanilla. I could do a gameplay, a World Conquest, not World Conquest, but basically a Second World War with Germany playing Germany and going against the world. If you'd like to see that, hit me up in the comment sections, and we will see about that. Thank you again for watching. I hope this helps you a little bit to understand how the supply works and how it goes. And if you would like to have a more in-depth video, also hit me up in the comments. I can try and make a more in-depth video, which is gonna be lasting for a little longer than this. And that's pretty much that. Thank you again for watching, and see you later.